So, are you really an artist if you don't make money from your art? A lot of people wonder about that. So, this week I decided I would write an essay on the topic. And it was prompted by this really memorable conversation that I had a few days ago that I want to tell you about. Oh, and if you'd like to read my essay and get a fresh one emailed to you each Friday, absolutely free, just sign up at dannysessays.com and I'll send it to you. So on Tuesday morning, I had a chat with E, we'll call her, a painter in Canada, and it was fascinating. She grew up in this creative home. Her parents were both scenic painters in the theater, and art was always a part of her life and part of her identity. She had a job, she had a career, but she also worked in photography, and then she transitioned to painting in her 40s. She had a lifelong struggle with her immune system, and it grew more grave a few years ago. And after some time in the hospital, she went on disability. Now, the one silver lining was that she got an annuity that provided a stable income for years to come. But there was a catch. She was forbidden to earn any income from her art because it would jeopardize her disability benefits. Now, when E and I began our conversation, she told me that she was simmering with resentment over this restriction, and her autonomy, her control over her own life, they were being stolen by this seemingly draconian rule. Now, I wondered if she was asking for advice on how to find a way around this situation. But she told me that even though she'd considered using an alias to circumvent the system, the thought of having to hide her identity made her even more unhappy. She said that she felt like a chef who loved to cook, but couldn't serve her meals to anyone. And that's when a light went off in my head, and I knew how to help her. And I asked her, why? Why do you want to make money from your art? And she was surprised. How could she make art if she couldn't sell it? She had to spend money on art supplies. Shouldn't she be paid for that? I mean, her time? What was the point of filling her basement with canvases that she couldn't sell to anybody? Well, I pointed out to her that she didn't seem to need any extra income. She had this annuity. It seemed sufficient. So what else was she getting out of making art besides money? She said she has to make art. She loves to create. It's fun. It's a joy. It makes her feel good. It's just who she is, an artist. And I said to her, look, you can think about this differently. Rather than being forbidden to make money, you've been handed a gift. And it's the freedom to create without market pressures. You can be the purest kind of artist. Throughout history, there have always been artists, but it's only in the last couple of centuries that art got bogged down with making money. Our ancestors didn't paint caves or craft pottery with dollar signs in their eyes. They did it for expression. They did it for community. They did it for the sheer joy of doing it. Think about Van Gogh. He never sold a painting, but yet he made art every day. His brother gave him money to buy his paints unconditionally. And he was financially supported just like you are. Perhaps you should start calling your annuity Theo in Vincent's brother's honor. And it'll allow you to paint your heart out without worrying about the bills, if you let it. And as for feeling like a chef who can't feed people, I said, hey, you can still nourish people with your art. You're just not handing them a check at the end. So why not spread your art where it's needed most, like, I don't know, retirement homes or homeless shelters or, I don't know, social media. Just give it away, the art, for the cost of postage. You could say to people, if you'd like this painting, great. The way I want you to pay for it is by sending me a picture of it hanging in your house. Or if somebody makes a nice comment about it, send me that. That's what it costs. Isn't that better than just selling it to some anonymous patron through a gallery? Your painting kind of disappearing into some mansion somewhere and you never hear about it again? And she'd mentioned that she'd been very active on Instagram back in the days when she sold her work. So I threw in this idea. I said, well, what if you use Instagram not to sell, but to share the joy of making art without a price? It's kind of a revolutionary idea, turning the tables on this big corporate platform that's all about monetizing everything. You could become the artist famous for not selling her art, I said. Think about it. Van Gogh, his legacy isn't his sales record. It's his undying passion for art, right? And then I pointed out that making art was proven to be therapeutic for her autoimmune condition, right? I mentioned that essay that I wrote a few weeks ago. Maybe you've seen the video. It's called Making Art After 40. Well, it's about the scientific evidence for all of the healthy reasons to make art and how it can lower the levels of your stress hormone cortisol, and it can boost her immunity. And she said that she'd read that essay and seen the video, and she agreed absolutely. So I said, well, do you think it's totally unreasonable that you have to pay something for your medicine? Well, let's say that your doctor told you that eating certain food would make you stronger. Would you resent having to buy them? Maybe you think of your art supplies that way too. Just a small price to pay to feel better. I could see the wheels turning in her head as we talked. And by the end of our call, she was buzzing with ideas. She had a renewed sense of empowerment fueling her. And she promised to keep me in the loop. And I can't wait to see where this takes her. So her story is kind of unusual, but I think it hits close to home because it suggests that all of us could think differently about art and success. We could ignore the klaxons of commerce and we could return to the heart of why it is we create in the first place. Art isn't just a product. It's part of who we are. And that's just not for sale. So what do you think about this story and this advice that I gave? Let me know in the comments below. And again, if you'd like to read my essay and you'd like to get a fresh one emailed to you each Friday, absolutely free, just sign up at dannysessays.com. See you next time.